Hey ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to yet another crypto video. As always, it is Nick here, back with your daily crypto content. So, today we are going to address a big FUD layer for Hedera Hashgraph, right? So, we see this come up in question all the time. We see it actually come up in an argument all the time as well, and that is, well, Hedera is just centralized garbage anyway, so why would anybody want to be invested in Hedera Hashgraph? And today we're going to analyze why I believe that at the end of the day, Hedera is more decentralized than Bitcoin. So, today we've seen this article be posted by Cointelegraph. It's saying, is Bitcoin really decentralized? China's ban on miners plunged hash rates and revealed a potential weak spot for the famous proof of work coin. We actually kind of can read more into this. The great hash rate plunge caused by an exodus of miners from China shows large-scale proof-of-work mining facilities are vulnerable to regulation. We also see down here, Bitcoin mining is reliant on large-scale industrial cryptocurrency mining farms and has been largely concentrated in China, which accounts for 65% of the global hash rate. The manufacturer of custom hardware in China has supported this trend, with 1 in 2 ASIC miners produced being distributed to Chinese miners. The crackdown has caused significant turmoil in Bitcoin markets. The Bitcoin's network's hash rate has dropped to a 12-month low, with more provinces directing miners to shut down. Uncertainty about what may happen with confiscated mining hardware has hit the overall network hard. This is a massive loss to what was a multi-billion-dollar industry for Chinese miners. Now, I just want to say, we do see that Bitcoin's mining facilities from China were pretty much flown here, and now they're going to be set up in Maryland. I just want to say right now, I would not be surprised if Bitcoin mining got banned in the United States. And the reason why I say that is because we are seeing rolling blackouts actually happening from the use of these Bitcoin mining facilities. Now, I do just want to say, yes, I understand that sometimes with Bitcoin, you could pretty much get a ton of power out of just one miner if it is utilized properly. And I don't underestimate that at all. I just think that from a perspective of environmental sustainability, I just don't think that this is going to be accepted by most governments and even most state regulations. Again, it is what it is. It's all kind of speculation with that, but we do know the statistics, right? 65% of the global hash rate was owned by China. That is not decentralized. I don't care if you guys are a Bitcoin maxi or not. That is not decentralized at the end of the day. When over 50% of something that is, for an example, the hash rate of Bitcoin is owned in one specific area, that is kind of, in my opinion, very centralized. We also see that it took a hit from this ban over in China. We see that the price action ensued because of this, and I mean, it's still kind of like that. I mean, yeah, sure, they're going to be coming back online. I look forward to it. Now, we do see the question here, are we decentralized yet? Hardware has always been a major vulnerability in decentralized infrastructure. In blockchain-based cryptocurrency networks that run on proof-of-work (POW) consensus algorithm, such as Bitcoin, the commonly agreed record of transactions relies on a distributed network of computers. This is vulnerable to structural exploitations, including concentration of hardware mining in industrial-scale factories in certain geographies, such as China. Pre-mining cryptocurrency with upgraded hardware that is not yet available to the broader market, such as the new model ASICs or supply chain delays. And we do see here, having a majority of hashing power concentrated in one country reliant on expensive hardware setups and subject to regulatory crackdown is antithetical to the decentralized ethos of Bitcoin that was outlined by Satoshi Nakamoto. And again, this kind of goes into the idea where I see a lot of people still kind of say, well, Bitcoin's doing exactly what Satoshi wanted to. It's not, right? And the reason why I say this is because we actually see a lot of what's happening with Bitcoin forks, specifically Bitcoin Cash, actually be what was outlined by Satoshi. We're seeing Bitcoin Cash actually be more scalable than Bitcoin. We're seeing Bitcoin Cash also be faster and cheaper to move than Bitcoin itself. So when we look at it like that, and we kind of look at it the idea of, well, we are seeing a lot of it being concentrated in one country. We're seeing it pretty much 65% of it owned by one country and stuff. That kind of raises the question on, is Bitcoin really as decentralized as most people think? And we even see it down here, right? If anyone can run a node from anywhere with consumer grade equipment, the more people can participate in validating the network, making it more decentralized, and regulators would find it almost impossible to stop people from running nodes. In contrast, the huge energy consuming factories found in Bitcoin mining are much more easily targeted. Again, it's the idea that not everybody has access to run a node and pretty much participate in it. That makes Bitcoin fully decentralized. Bitcoin is one of the less decentralized assets in the space, and the point to argue is the fact that when we compare it to even Hedera Hashgraph is one of the most decentralized assets in the space. And I understand where the argument comes up in question, where we see, well, the governing council pretty much, makes the changes and stuff like that for Hedera, which I see it all the time. It's almost like somebody doesn't do the research at all on Hedera and what it is, right? Because we have 39 council members in full, with 11 currently on the GC that are making decisions, and they're not all from the same sectors. They're all in different sectors. So it takes a whole bunch of voting power. Not only that, but in the future, because it's not live right now, pretty much anybody will be able to run a node on Hedera's network. Now, we do have this tweet coming from Christian Hasker. He works for Hedera, if you guys didn't know. And he's saying, for those folks that say Hedera is centralized, watch Lehman Baird burst that bubble in style at 2024. We're actually going to watch that real quick.
Okay, moving on to governance. Lehman, what do you say to people who have expressed concern or distaste for Hedera's perceived centralization based on the large corporations that make up the governing council?
No, this is more decentralized than the governance. Let's talk about governance. So, you can say down with big companies, I don't trust big companies. Guess what? I also do not trust a big company. I do not trust it to do the right thing. You know what else? I also don't trust a stranger that I've never met to do the right thing, who's an individual. I just don't trust anybody. And I think this is the important thing. What do you do in a world where you don't trust anybody? Well, you don't let one somebody control everything. You decentralize it. You have to have a bunch of them. So what I want to do is I want to have this governed by people who are in different countries under different governments, who are on different continents, and that I know who they are, and I know they care about their reputation, and I know that they are hard to bribe because they're a Fortune 500 company, they're one of the top 10 universities in the world. This is what I want, but not just that. I don't just want to be decentralized that way and decentralized in time where they have term limits. What I want is for transparency as well. So I want to know something about the people running something. I want there to be more than one person. I want there to be a lot of them. We have 21 council members right now on every continent on the globe except Antarctica. Maybe we'll even get that. We have diverse interests among our council members. If you were to pick just one council member, do I trust them? No, I don't trust any stranger, but I know who they are. I know they've been around for a while. They're probably not going to do incredibly stupid things. They're probably going to act in their own interest, which is why I don't trust them. If I meet some random stranger, well, I don't trust them either. What I would like is to be able to see how they do their deliberations. And so what we do is we publish all the minutes of all the meetings of the council. And so you can see who are the council members from all around the world with different interests. They're in different industries, they're different backgrounds. There's companies and schools, universities, different kinds of things, but you know who they are. You can read the minutes, you can see how they're discussing it. What I would feel a lot less comfortable with is if a dozen guys in China controlled all the hashing power and made the real decisions. Or if everyone holding a coin has one vote and the whales, who I don't even know who they are, who hold all the coins and pull the strings from behind the scenes, are controlling it. I would be very uneasy with that because I don't get minutes from every time they meet and discuss these things. And I don't know who they are, and they don't necessarily have a reputation that they're really interested in protecting. If you give them $1 million, maybe they're willing to lose their reputation. This is not as good decentralized governance. It's really centralization. You can say, hey, anyone on earth can contribute to our code base. But what ends up happening over time for most systems is that you end up with a handful of people with the power. This is every system ends up that way, or one person with the power. Every system ends up with that. So what you do is you say, we want checks and balances. We want this group that is controlling it to be a group that is known, that is decentralized, meaning around the world under different governments, in case governments try to intervene, that are publishing their minutes of what they're doing, that are big enough that it's hard to bribe them. This is what you want for true transparency of governance. And I think this is incredibly important. And you've got to bake it in at the ground level when you first build your system. It becomes very hard to retroactively add good governance like this, trustworthy governance. That's what's important.
And there you go, guys. I mean, he basically said that all the governing council members all have their own idea and own agendas, and they are also in all, pretty much every continent except for Antarctica in the world that are making these decisions. He also mentioned the hash rate idea, that he doesn't want that. He doesn't want, Hedera is not governed, or, I should say, controlled by 65% of the hash rate in one area. He wants to know who these people are that are on the governing council. He doesn't trust any of them by themselves, and that is why they all have their own agenda to push. That is why Hedera Hashgraph is one of the most decentralized networks out there, not because, all the governing council members are themselves. No, it's because at the end of the day, they know who is on the governing council. They've done the research on those individuals. They don't trust them if they work by themselves, but as a full, it makes sense, right? Because when you look at it and you break it down in full, all of them have their own agenda, and they're all going to act in their own pretty much best interest, but that's not going to work. So they essentially have to work as a team to pretty much make these decisions. And that is why, in my opinion, Hedera Hashgraph is more decentralized than Bitcoin. And for all these individuals that are saying, well, it's not more decentralized than, this or that, this is more, decentralized than Hedera. Listen, Hedera Hashgraph is one of the most decentralized assets in the space that we've ever seen. And I would beg to differ that it is the most decentralized cryptocurrency currently right now. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. As always, if you guys did enjoy this video, definitely leave a like, subscribe, turn notifications on. If you guys do want more free content, you guys can follow me on Twitter at NCashOfficial. You guys could also join the free Discord down in the description below. Nonetheless, I hope that you all have a beautiful day or a beautiful night wherever you guys are in this beautiful world. This has been Nick. Peace out.